Hello, beautiful people. We are back for part two of the Kitty and Jose Menendez interview. I need to read the backstory again, but basically, I'll shorten it. So, Kitty and Jose are Lyle and Erik Menendez's parents. The boys shot them, and so they've been on trial for murder, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, go back to part one so you can learn a little bit more about that if you've been living under a rock like I have. Okay, so on with the community, with the questions from the community. And Erik, my Erik, my son on the other side is going to help with this. One of the brothers said their father told them that they would grow up to do the same thing he was doing. And so this person is saying, I'm just wondering if there's more involved. Is that true? Jose, did you say you could do the same thing I'm doing?
Yes. And this came from Erik is saying it came from his experience in how he climbed the ladder of success. And so he was convinced he was shaping his boys to help them survive in a society, in a society that had a lot of dark, hidden secrets. And so he
Hmm.
assumed his boys would be no different than he.
Wow.
He saw, Erik says he did not see them as individuals. He saw them as extensions of himself.
Erik? Oh, Jose?
Jose
Oh,
saw
okay. Saw the boys
his
as an extension. I got it. I got it.
yes.
All right, Kitty, were you suicidal? One of the boys, I think it was Lyle, this person said she was, and that he was trying to help her.
Yes. So more than once there were threats of committing suicide, and there's there's twice I'm being shown of something being taken quite far. And Erik is saying that she had committed suicide in another lifetime
Oh,
where this was rooted from.
okay. And Lyle was helping you?
Not in that lifetime, no.
And what
But
about in this lifetime?
yes, yes, yes.
Did you love Jose? Or did you want to stay married because you had fear or because you liked the lifestyle? Because you guys, I guess, were wealthy.
She says it started as love, what I thought love was, as much as um, she says it was a lot of fantasy in the beginning. And then she speaks of her marriage turning into a fantasy gone wrong or fairy tale gone wrong.
Oh, no kidding. Why didn't you leave? Because you wanted that wealth or you're scared or both?
She says that she was so enmeshed, um, like leaving didn't make sense to her, even though she had thought about many times what life would have looked like had she had made different choices. But she said there was too much at risk to
Mm,
leave. And a lot of it is her not being able to face things.
yeah. All right, Kitty, what did you find out that Jose had some interest in men sexually? And how did you find out?
She says she suspected through some of his preferences sexually.
Oh, okay, I got it. I know exactly what you're saying. Uh, and that was early on in the marriage, obviously, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when and how did you, Kitty, find out about Jose abusing the boys?
She's showing me there's like a behavior like wanting to have alone time, and she says that it wouldn't okay, she's showing me what looks like a bedroom door being shut, a room being shut, and it only happening at certain times. And she knew that it was something was off about it because of the demeanor of her boys afterwards. So like she was piecing things together. Um, and she did question him. She's showing me that there were conversations, and he would always have a way to kind of explain what was going on. But
When did you
they were
find out?
younger
Yeah, when did you find out it was sexual abuse?
in
And
more of a like I know for sure this is like around 10, maybe going
okay,
on 11 for one of the boys anyway.
okay. Did you open the door and see the catch them in the him in the act, or how did you find out?
She's not saying it like that.
Or did one of the
She
kids tell her?
yeah, there's conversation. There's words being exchanged because she's in a state of denial, but she's still hearing it.
So
She's still hearing it that
witnessed
something was said.
you never
No,
witnessed anything.
she's not saying she witnessed
Okay.
that specifically.
Did you ever have an emotional connection with your boys? I mean, we talked about in part one how you were detached and neglectful.
She says that the emotional connection was always very mm, it was not an authentic connection. So it feels very put on. She says that she didn't know how to nurture an emotional connection
Mhm.
with them. And so she did the things that she observed in
Oh,
others
wow.
to what they would do
But
for their
how did
children.
you feel when you were holding that beautiful newborn boy in your arms? This
She
is an
said that
alien.
no,
Really?
she said that she did um she's bringing me right back to that, and she's saying that she did feel something very like she's saying as close as I could feel it their younger years
Yeah.
was the times that she could really feel that. But she says when I had more control of what was happening, like she was like her position in life was different when they were
Oh,
younger, like
yeah.
little compared to as they grew.
Mm,
So it's like that those things kind of got lost with the age as they grew.
I got you. Kitty, did your own family ever confront you on the abuse claim?
She says that there were conversations. Um, yes, yes, there were conversations that she
Oh,
had. hmm Um, not to the degree.
oh, yeah.
She said that nobody really had a clear idea of what was going on.
How do you feel knowing your sons are in prison? Both you, Jose, and Kitty, basically. But I think we answered that. You feel like they shouldn't be in prison, and you said you're remorseful. So,
Yes.
anything to add on that, or is that done? Question done.
She says, as difficult as it is to understand, I see my boys as being more free in prison, more free to explore who they are beyond anything that they could when they were in the life with us.
Okay. Jose, I've heard your extended family was afraid of you. Did you ever think you would be murdered by your children? Did it ever cross your mind?
No,
Mm. My husband always says that if my father, Jose, had had a son, he would kick the crap out of him because my father was a small man in many ways. Um, would y'all do anything over, or is this like a spiritual contract?
what Erik is saying is that the spiritual contract was to come together to release um, karmic family ties for both parents.
Oh,
It was not a contract for abuse. but there was abusive tendencies that were present, and that both parents had free will to be able to make changes. They had consistent choices to make changes. He said what happened was a result of
Okay.
the choices.
Okay. Were the two parents, you, Jose and Kitty, pulled into some sort of cabal while in college? Just a yes or no. Kitty attended SIU in Illinois, apparently.
Well, they're saying yes.
What is a cabal? I don't even
In
know
the
what
short
a cabal
answer, they're not calling it that though, but they're saying that there was something, and there's something that they were more him than her involved in. It that stems from that, but they're not saying cabal. They're using that kind of energy, but not that word.
Well, it doesn't, it's not always, but cabal has multiple meanings, including a group of people who work together to promote their own interest. But to me, it seems like it has more of a negative connotation. All right. What did you guys find appealing to each other when you first met? Kitty, why don't you go first?
His confidence, his she says it was very inspiring to he had a dream. He had a dream.
So
He had
passion and confidence, yeah.
big dreams, and he was a savior to me. I was working hard on my own, um, wanting to improve my life and my future. And we had similar goals. And I liked the way that he spoke. I liked the way that he thought. And I felt like he had come from little means and was heading in a big direction. And I wanted to take that ride with him.
Was he wealthy or when you met him?
She says no. She
Okay.
says no.
Jose, what about you?
He says that he saw her as beautiful. The first thing he goes to is beautiful.
Okay.
Um, she had an innocence to her. He could see her as complimenting him in his life. There's a lot of like quick, like there. It's like a whirlwind, quick. Like we got caught up in it. I was very caught up with her,
Well,
and it was like let's get married. Let's. Everything was very quick,
okay.
and she was
Trying to look up something.
easy for them to like to go ahead. They had dreams.
Okay.
They were able to come together with dreams.
So, how do you both feel about Lyle and Eric's cousin, Andy Kano, overdosing? And he apparently is a key witness to the abuse the boys suffered. First of all, did he die, Andy Kano? Must have. Overdose usually means dying.
Erik says yes. Erik says he's in spirit.
Okay. Did he witness the abuse?
Informed. So Erik says that he knew about it. He was told about it.
Oh, by one of the boys?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so he killed himself. I don't know if it was accidental overdose. Was it accidental, Eric? Or did he want to die?
Well, Erik says a little bit of both because was it
Oh,
accidental? Yes, but he there was a lot going on as to why the overdose happened, and there
was
was a lot of pain there.
was it because of the Menendez situation, or was it more complicated than that?
Is a big part of it, but there was more. There was more other things in his life as well.
Okay, did Jose abuse any of the Menudo group members or any other child?
Yes, yes.
Oh, how many in the Menudo group?
I'm being shown three, and there is not all at the same time.
Were either of these boys exposed to any Hollywood elite parties, like, for example, the ones that P. Diddy had, the freakouts?
No, his boys, no, that there were things that went on. There were things that went on with the father or who he's connected to that did have young boys and girls that were involved.
Okay.
But he's not showing bringing his boys into that.
All right. All right. Each of you describe your transition after death. Like, first of all, did you realize that you died and who greeted you? Kitty, you want to go first?
So the first thing she shows me is an ancestor comes forward like a grandmother that shows assisted her. Um, they were not together. She wants to say that she's showing me like when somebody's in a terrible accident and they're sitting in the back of the ambulance. This is what she's giving me. Seeing the back of the ambulance with like a blanket over them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what she's showing me, is like sitting there with a blanket over her and having somebody with her, counseling her, speaking to her.
Okay.
And she shows being able to leave to a place of more warmth where she says, Eric's just coming in and saying, think of it as going to a rehab,
Okay.
like being taken to a rehab where she was able to have rebalancing,
Yeah.
some rebalancing of her soul. For the father, help eventually did come, but what I'm being shown is being isolated in the beginning,
Yeah.
having isolation, being alone with his own thoughts. Eric said he was not reaching out and asking for help.
Did you
He was
realize
trying to
at that point you were dead, though?
Yes, he
Okay.
did. He did. He was able to see his body. He
Oh,
was
wow.
able to see. He did see that. The isolation that he had was he was not able to communicate. So it's like he's trying to understand what happened or trying to tell people what to do, like what's going on.
Okay.
And he's completely isolated. Like it's like no one hears me. No one, like, where am I? Is that my body? Like
Yeah.
he's speaking to himself. Nobody's answering
Okay.
him. Eric says help arrived when he called out for help.
Who was the first to greet you? Your spirit guide or a family member? What?
There's a man that
Okay.
looks like a shepherd, that came to take him. I'm being given a lot of visuals, and it looks like the father is trying to negotiate. He's trying to negotiate where he's going and wants to know what's there and why, and like it's he's continuing that same kind of mental state. And Eric says it took quite a while to step out of that resistance, and that is still happening. Although there is a lot more information, there's a lot more understanding at this point, but there's still a process that's taking place
Okay. Were
in his
either of you
soul.
guys religious?
The answer that I just got was we were not God fearing.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you should have been. Okay, we talked about contracts, the karmic cycle. Did all four of you ever have a past life together?
Yes, but not, it was the mother and father that were directly connected, whereas the boys are not from the same soul group.
Oh, wow.
So Erik is saying that they lent their energy for something that, like, the boys are both in the same soul group, but they lent their energy and invested into this life so that uh, they would be able to or it was about misunderstanding, be able to accept themselves through misunderstanding, but they actually came to lend themselves to be
Wow.
able to break the karmic cycle that the parents had
Oh,
been bound in.
all
And
right.
so Erik says that there are many times where souls will consider it like cousins, like jumping into another soul group,
I had no idea.
help raise the consciousness. And that's exactly what's happened here. It is the mother and father that Erik shows me has a past life that was rooted in Egypt, where a lot of this energy had started. And Erik says the father was a pharaoh.
Beat
Father was a
slaves, I bet.
the
Right?
father was a pharaoh, and the mother was a shepherd. The father had two sons and had the in this lifetime in Egypt and had the understanding or believed that if he kept his sons away from everyone, if he isolated his sons, that they would be raised only in what he wanted
Oh, yeah.
and only what he wanted them to do. He assigned the mother, who was a male, who was a shepherd, to watch over the sons
Oh,
and had told the mother, "You are not to speak to them. You are not to um, you're not to say anything to them. They're only to hear my language. They're
wow.
only to hear my words." And the shepherd, the mother in that lifetime, actually ended up taking his own life.
So,
And
did you abuse your two sons in that lifetime?
yes,
In what way? All the ways?
yes.
Okay. Are you guys together on the other side?
Um, no. Um,
Okay.
they can be, but
Yeah.
no, they
But
um
choose not to be.
yeah.
That's fine. Are you reincarnated?
The mother is.
What is she doing? Where is she?
She's actually Midwest female, Midwest under the age of 5.
Okay.
No, I'm not seeing anything for the father.
He's got a lot of work to do, probably.
Hmm.
Do
I will say there are some Erik is showing me some soul pieces of the soul that are, because we understand that time is not linear. So
right.
there's other lifetimes existing. There are some other lifetimes existing with like
Okay.
animal lifetimes.
Okay. Do you guys visit your sons ever?
Yes, we have. Yes.
Well, do you forgive your sons for killing you? I think it would be the other way around.
They're saying that they have a great understanding for what has happened. And yes, they do forgive them. Yes.
Do Eric and Lyle forgive you guys, I wonder? We don't need to do that. That would take a mind probe.
It, Erik is just saying that um, he's talking about that the boys are uh, like spiritually evolved souls.
Oh, well, if they chose to help another soul family, I can imagine.
And um, he's showing that. there is a lot of pain and many layers of that, and
Yeah.
but they're actually so they're giving, and there's some healing that they've been able to do for themselves.
Good.
So it's been more of being able to forgive themselves.
Mm. Are you guys happy now?
They're answering that they're content, that
Or
they
what?
have
Content?
they're content. This is the
Okay.
father speaking. Content, content. Okay, that's your word.
What do you do on the other side?
He's educating himself. He's showing me a lot of books, educating himself. And what is she doing? She loves the water. She spends a lot of time through the water.
Okay.
Um, she's saying that the water is very healing. And so there are other souls that she joins with to be able to heal through water. And
Okay.
so that is part of what she is doing, is assisting other souls to help clear, she says, their ancestry.
All right. I got two more questions and we're done. Do you know if they'll actually win their case and be released? Maybe you don't know that. Of course, there's free will involved, people, but quantum probability. This might be one for my Eric.
Yes. Interestingly, the father just said that he is able to see about 1.5 minutes ahead of real time.
Oh,
That's how he's explaining that he can see. Erik says very high probability.
oh, good. All right. Anything else you guys want to say to your sons? I was saying, Kitty.
They're strong. They're very strong and very courageous. They're both very sorry
Yeah.
for what they've endured in this life at the hands of those that were here to nurture them.
Mm.
That was the more the mother's energy
Yeah.
coming forward with that. In asking the father directly, I get, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Eric, do you want to say anything else? My Eric?
The only thing that he's adding is he's just saying that, when we see a lot of these things that play out in front of us in the world, there's so many different layers to it. And he's saying that the reason why this is all coming out in the way that it is right now is because it's energetically affecting many other circumstances. And he says, look at the location of where this happened. And
Yeah.
he's pointing to Hollywood.
Cesspool.
And he says, because this particular, these lives and this karmic line that is being uh, healed, he says it's rebalance. Rebalance is what's happening everywhere.
Good.
And so he says, take this as a sign that things are happening.
Yeah.
Rebalance is occurring.
That's good. All right. Love you, Michelle,
Love you
Eric.
too.
Thank you, Kitty and
Love you, Mom.
Jose, for coming forward and explaining things. Y'all watch part one if you haven't, but also please give this a thumbs up. It only takes 1 second. Do it right now. I'm waiting. Done. All right. And also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for the next exciting video that you don't want to miss. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I love you, Eric.
Love you, Mom.